It feels like 84 years since we last had an I'm A Celebrity romance, Katie and Peter, right?
They're desperate for it to happen because obviously this is the kind of thing that gets people talking, isn't it?
It's a bit like being at the zoo, isn't it? And we're like watching these animals on the screen and we're like, okay, what are they going to do next?
That is absolutely disastrous, isn't it?
You deeply invested in every spit and cough.
It feels a bit lame for me.
I am telling you, I would shave my entire body for Zara Larsson because she is so hot. This is Showbiz Fix, your destination for the inside scoop on all our celebrity exclusives and the biggest entertainment stories you're loving this week. Now, we've got all the insider AC12 knowledge for the brand new series of Line of Duty, and we'll be getting into the Christmas No.1 contenders for this year. But first, it's back to the jungle. And it will not surprise either of you to know that I'm obviously obsessed and deeply invested with this budding romance. Have you heard about this, Hal?
Yes, I feel like it's the talk of the TV town this week, isn't it? But, I mean, are you convinced that it is actually a thing? Shona and Aitch?
I am convinced because having seen so many showmances on so many of these shows, I actually watch them and I go, I think they really genuinely like each other.
So this is Shona McGarty, EastEnders, and bad boy rapper Aitch. Now, this first revealed itself when Aitch said to Jind, I've got a bit of a soft spot for Shona, you know. And obviously we all went crazy because I said this the other day, it feels like 84 years since we last had an I'm A Celebrity romance, Katie and Peter, right? There was dabblings with Joey Essex and Amy Willerton, but no one believed that. But I'm excited. Can you tell?
I mean, we're long overdue a jungle romance. There's no two ways about it. And Shona feels like this like big heart just out there waiting to meet someone. And no, I think it's absolutely fantastic. And when was Katie and Peter? That must have been about 15 years ago or something like that?
Absolutely.
At least. Well,
Long
more than
overdue.
that, because Princess Andre and Junior are like,
18.
They're adults
21.
now.
Yeah,
Was it that long
it's
ago?
about 25 years ago.
Yeah.
So 2004. Just delved into my
You're
my
in.
showbiz show there. So the thing that I'm excited about is it's giving us something to talk about because it had felt like so far this camp was all getting on swimmingly. There wasn't really any beef, and it meant that we were really going for it on this feud between Jack Osborne and Kelly Brook over the cooking. Why is there always a row over the cooking, Rod?
Well, I think it's the same reason there's always a row over the cooking in every single house in the country. You know, it's that one thing that everyone has very clear ideas on. And I think the thing is, if you mess up the cooking on the jungle, everybody starves. You know, that you hand something over that they can't actually eat. And they like think, why did I spend all this time munching on kangaroo anus to get stars and then get served up something which is worse than the kangaroo anus? So, I mean, am I wide of the mark there? Is that why they argue on cooking?
I think it must be really tough to do because also, you know, you get sent this stuff down, which is like a bit of old camel or kangaroo or whatever. And you're like, okay, well, how am I going to cook this? And I thought it was really interesting. I saw GK Barry, who was obviously on the show last year. She did a TikTok the other day sort of, you know, answering people's questions. And they were saying, how do you know how to cook this stuff? You know, you only get a small amount of meat between all of you and you have to just cook it. And she said, yeah, it's a nightmare because you just have to stick it on and hope for the best. And if you think it's done, maybe stick it on for another 5 minutes because otherwise you'll all kill each other. And I feel like that would bring you a lot of stress. You're already in kind of a stressful situation. To have that on top is another thing. But then like, there's been a lot of arguments over the washing up over the years as well, hasn't there? And I'm like, it would be stressful. I've lived in a house share where we've had arguments about the washing up and we have running water, you know, soap, you know, all of that. Whereas like, if you're in there and you're scrubbing a little tin next to a river, it's probably not going to be a fun environment.
It's not Syria, though, is it? I've got a bit of gossip, actually, though, about Jack Osborne and the cooking in the camp.
Okay.
So he was on Cooking with the Stars, the last TV show he was involved in earlier this year. And before he went into the jungle, he tapped up his celebrity chef mentor as the best way to cook all these things. So Jack's in there looking like, oh, this is how we should cook that, da-da-da. But actually, he's already spoken to a professional about, for example, crocodile feet. The best way to do that is a bit like a chicken wing. all this kind of thing, Jack has borrowed advice from somebody else, and he's not told anyone that, has he?
I mean, that's weird, because surely how do you work out what you're going to cook in there? Because the whole point with it is you get like an ostrich neck or a crocodile's foot or something. I mean, what did he go and speak to this chef and say, right, we're doing crocodile's foot, ostrich neck, like rhino belly or something like that? How do you know what you're going to cook? You can't possibly know.
Well, if you're Jack, you've already run through all of the options.
Yeah, he must have been there revising beforehand.
Yeah.
Like, okay, this is what I need to do for this part of the crocodile.
Yeah, cliff notes of I'm a Celeb cooking, isn't it? Well, look, let's cross over to Amir, who's in our very own Bush Telegraph. It's a little less jungle-like, though, seeing as it's just his hotel room in Australia. Hi, Amir. How has week two been treating you?
Yeah, it's been good. As you said, there's a bit more to talk about this week, it feels like, a bit more of a storyline. So with Aitch and Shona, initially I didn't really, you never know how these things are edited, do you, to make it look like something's actually happening or not. And I thought it might be a bit of that at the start, but it seems like, having watched it like on last night's episode, where there was that moment where Shona's like goes over to Aitch and starts looking in his eyes, so he can see her eyes. I can't remember what exactly she said. And then there was the pillow fight that they had where, yeah, eventually he starts wrapping his legs around her and she's like, oh, how are your thighs so strong and whatever. So it seems like there's a bit more, actual chemistry between them now that might lead to something.
Question, Amir. What are you hearing from your behind-the-scenes sources? Are they leaning into this? Are producers trying to see if they can make this happen?
They're desperate for it to happen because obviously this is the kind of thing that gets people talking, isn't it? Like, you've only got to scroll through X to see what people are saying about the show. And initially, like, when it sort of started swirling about Aitch, maybe he said he had a soft spot for her, but that could be taken in any way. But a lot of his fans were saying, no, he's in a relationship. We did a story earlier in the week saying he's actually split up with his girlfriend now. So, and I think now it looks like it's a bit clearer that something actually might happen for the fans. So yeah, the producers obviously want people chatting about the show online. They want people tuning in. And this is the kind of thing that will keep people watching, I think.
They're all rivals now, though, because of the latest challenge twist. What's happening tonight?
Yeah, so Aitch and Ginge, they're obviously really good mates, but the public decided that they want them to be rivals. So tonight's episode, we'll see them going against each other in a challenge, which they're like in a pit and surrounded by all sorts of critters and whatever. And it actually looks like Ginge, for once, he's known as Angry Ginge, but he's not got angry once this series, but he seems to flip his lid a bit in the challenge. But then also we've got the live trial returning tonight. So all of the celebs are going to be in their pairs against each other doing a drinking challenge where they get to choose 2 ingredients to go into the drink for their rival to take and neck. And whoever necks it first wins that challenge. So that would be great TV, I think. I thought last night when it was the first episode of this Rivals format. That was I'm a Celeb in all its like grim glory. They were doing some disgusting challenges, which I felt like so far this series, the challenges have been a bit easy, or not easy, but they've all smashed them, which you don't want to see. You want to see them suffer a bit. I don't know what you think, but there was some disgusting stuff like the pig's brains that Kelly and what's her name? Kelly and Vogue,
Yeah.
that's it, sorry.
Yeah.
Kelly and Vogue have to eat, and that's what you want to see. But yeah.
Definitely. I mean, Jack made it look so easy, but when I was in the jungle, one of the challenges I had to do was drinking. And I maintain this is harder than eating because of the volume. Like, I can't neck a pint. So I think this live trial sounds amazing. What's going to be coming up for the rest of the time? We're going to start kicking them out soon, I guess.
Yeah, so ITV have said that this format with the rivals, so they obviously have the winners and the losers. In some way, that's going to impact who's up for the first eviction, which will be any day now. So it'd be interesting. You think whoever's in the losers camp might be up for the vote, but which will make it interesting because obviously Aitch lost the first one to Ginge, didn't he? And he's massively popular, so it might put some people that you wouldn't think would go out early more at risk of being evicted. So yeah, that's it'll get exciting now, I think.
Yeah, I mean, that's like real jeopardy because, for example, Alex Scott, she smuggled salt in and the punishment was they lost a star. Like, I want proper punishment and jeopardy, and losing, being up for eviction because of that is like a really tough way to do it, isn't it?
Yeah, I agree. That would be a good idea.
But obviously they'll all have lovely showbiz welcomes when they come out, and you've heard something exciting ahead of Ginge, haven't you?
Yeah, so obviously, I actually think he's going to go pretty far anyway. But yeah, regardless of how he does, he's going to do pretty well off the back of being an I'm A Celeb. Because yeah, we've got a story today about how he's going to make about 5 million quid next year. So I've spoken to some people close to him, and they say that he's got a deal with Red Bull. He's one of their ambassadors, so he's like a sponsored gamer. His contract with them has been carried over to next year as well, and he's got a deal. He's been working with JD Sports this year. He's in their Christmas advert. They sponsor his football team, and apparently they're going to elevate the deal that they've got going on with him into next year, as well as all the TV deals and other brand opportunities that are going to come up for him.
That's crazy. And obviously you'll be earning $1 million when you get back for all these late nights.
Yeah, I think, yeah, at least $1 million. I want to be pushing for 5. I'll have a word when I get back.
You deserve it. Thanks for joining us, Amir. We'll see you next week ahead of the final.
Cheers. See you later.
Bye. Did you see that really juicy other story that we had this week about I'm a Celebrity All-Stars?
Yes.
Oh,
this
yeah.
sounded explosive.
Yeah, so basically this is the one that's pre-recorded in South Africa, which will be on air in spring next year. And the story goes, Jimmy Bullard and Adam Thomas had a massive bust up after a trial because one of them, Adam, screwed it up, which meant that Jimmy was up for eviction, and Jimmy was furious. It all went wrong. And now they're refusing to film for the live reunion next year.
That is absolutely disastrous, isn't it? Because of course this is a new element to the All Stars show, and if they don't all turn up for it, it's kind of knackered before it even begun. It's incredible, really. I mean, this is the danger with it being pre-recorded and live. This sort of thing can happen over and over again. So I don't know whether they'll have to change the format back next year if they do another All Stars.
You would sort of hope that by the time this live episode comes around, things will be smoothed over and it'll be a lot easier. Because it's quite interesting when they do Love is Blind, for example. They film it like almost a year in advance, I think. And then when I don't know if you watched the most recent series of that, but when they came back for the reunion, one of them was like, oh, I've met someone and had a baby in the time since the show happened. It was like, when was this filmed? This is crazy. So, I think anything could happen. And so tensions will hopefully have like calmed a bit by then and it'll be okay. But you do want to have some drama in a live episode like that where you see people come together.
Juicy. This is what I love about any All-Stars format. They know what's needed from them. And they're not so worried maybe about perception and all that kind of thing. They're going back, let's face it, for a bit of money, potentially.
Yeah, and a bit of a career boost.
So, maybe ITV could add some zeros onto these paychecks and convince them both to come back.
I mean, maybe that's what it's all about at the end of the day. Maybe they just say, no, well, I won't come back in, and they're all right, and another check, I know people don't write checks anymore, but you know what I mean.
We'll call up Kevin Ligo and be like, oh, Jimmy wants more. I just love it. I mean, I'm sat here wanting a romance. I want drama. I want bust-ups.
It's a bit like being at the zoo, isn't it? And we're like watching these animals on the screen and we're like, okay, what are they going to do next? We want them to do something interesting. We're there at the glass.
Yeah, you can't just sit there. Terrible.
Move.
I know. Well, something that has shown some movement, and I know that, Roddy, you are very excited about this, is Line of Duty is finally confirmed to be coming back.
Finally, yeah. I mean, we've been talking about this for years. It's been coming back ever since the last series, and no one really liked the ending of the last series. So everyone's just like, right, give us more, give us more. And what they've done is finally confirm that they are giving us more. It will film next spring, and we are, fingers crossed, hoping it will air towards the end of next year. Now, the thing with Line of Duty is it isn't a big, sexy thing, but it is a huge, popular thing. And basically, the viewing figures for Line of Duty rival Celebrity Traitors. It rivals almost any other drama like Happy Valley or even Gavin and Stacey.
17 million.
Yes, insane figures. I mean, it remains to be seen because it's actually been like 4 or 5 years since the last series, whether they can get that again. I think they can.
Who's coming back then? All of them?
All of them, basically. Martin Compston, Vicky McClure, and Adrian Dunbar. They're the main ones. But the big question is who will be the baddie this season? Because every single season they have a different baddie. In the past, it's been people like Mark Bonner, who, of course, was on Celebrity Traitors. You've had people like Keely Hawes, Tandy Newton. And then we're going to be seeing who this is. And this is the big question now. We're going to find out over the next 4 or 5 months, who is that baddie and who's the guest star? So that's the thing we're going to keep our eyes peeled for.
So they've said in promo it's going to be the show's most sensitive case so far. Decode, what does this mean?
I think it means that they're going to tie up a lot of the loose ends from the last series. I think that's what it's code for, because there were so many loose ends and there were a lot of things that weren't satisfactorily, if that's a word, that weren't dealt with properly. So they will deal with all those. But I'm sure that the writer, Jed Mercurio, who loves doing this, will throw in some more red herrings and loose ends along the way. So I think that's what they mean. But I've heard that although Series 7 is tying up a lot of loose ends, it will still leave the door open and leave everyone wondering, will there be a Series 8?
Oh, not again.
I know.
This
We're going
whole
to go through
circus.
all this again, you know. I mean, the trouble is they can't leave it 5 years between Series 7 and 8 because, like, you're basically going to have, like, Martin Compton and Adrian Dunbar, like, on Zimmer frames and walking sticks chasing crooks. But, yeah, I think it could go on and on and on. And by the sounds of it, the BBC would like it too, so.
Is
Wow.
there a prospect of there being a Line of Duty film or something? Like, they must be tempted by Netflix money at this point because
Yeah.
it's such a big show for the BBC.
Agreed, but I think that a film. Look, I mean, they've done that with Peaky Blinders, and they've done a Peaky Blinders series coming back on the BBC. So, no, there's no reason for them not to do a film. The only thing is that Martin Compton in the past has said, look, a Line of Duty storyline is a big, long, sprawling thing. To shrink it down into 2 hours is quite tricky because an ordinary series is usually 6 episodes of at least an hour. So you're looking at 6 or 7 hours. But it's not beyond the realms of possibility. And it could even go on general release, a bit like the Peaky Blinders movie. So, yeah, good shout.
So it's all going to start ramping up next year.
Yes.
I can't wait for all the pap pictures that are going to come out from filming, and we'll be connecting. Well, there was a dead body there. What does that mean?
Yes.
The sleuths will be out in force, won't they?
Oh, yeah. And people are obsessed with it. And people know every single storyline from the previous 6 series. You know, if they see someone who's an old character from an old series, they'll kind of go, well, how have they been brought? Why are they being brought back? How are they being brought back? But like I say, I think the main thing is they'll be keeping their eyes peeled for a new actor and they'll go, that's the person who's the baddie in this series. Yeah, yeah. So.
It'll be like when we had the pap pictures in from Gavin and Stacey, and that's how we knew that Sheridan Smith was coming back.
Yes.
We always try and be careful with spoilers, obviously, because
Yeah.
we don't want to ruin it for everyone. But then, for example, with Celeb Traitors, it was highly fraught, in fact, because it was like, you cannot use that picture because that reveals this and that person's not there and they've
Yeah.
got a shield. And I think it's going to be that level for Line of Duty.
It is
Yeah.
actually interesting, isn't it, that the shows that are really hitting now so hard, especially with live viewers, are Celebrity Traitors and Line of Duty, and these shows where it's all just a big guessing game and everyone has to be a detective in their own right, you know?
Yeah.
I wonder whether there's just going to be more stuff like that on TV. I went and saw The Mousetrap this week, which is celebrating its 73rd birthday on the West End.
No.
And, you know, that's an Agatha Christie, like, whodunit thing. I think that's actually what we want. It's like a tried and tested format, you know? That's been going 73 years and people still love it. And maybe we just need more of that on the TV.
It's
Yeah.
like we can't just sit and watch something anymore. We're all so used to having 5 screens on the go. We actively need to be immersed in it.
Yeah. Well, you're sort of it's a two-way street with a guessing game. That's the interesting thing. I think with reality TV, you just sort of sit there and it washes over you. With this, you're
No,
you're
it
involved.
doesn't.
Sorry.
You deeply invested in every spit and cough,
But
Robert.
it's more predictable,
you?
isn't it? You know,
Yeah, yeah.
reality TV is more predictable. You want
Yeah.
something that has these crazy twists and turns where you do not know where it's going to go.
Yeah, and also if you look at things like The Masked Singer is just a guessing game, and it's
Yeah,
quite
great
an
shout.
old school kind of format, really, the guessing game. But you know that's what we want these days. It's great.
I want to talk about Christmas No.1 now.
Yes. So, I mean, it's 2 weeks' time that the big race is going to kick off. And I'm not really feeling that festive yet, but after listening to some of these songs, I'm sort of getting there, you know?
So my pet peeve is when it's a Christmas song, but it's not Christmassy. You know, when it was that era where there was number ones that just didn't have the sleigh bells or any of that.
Yeah. So
Please tell me what we've got, and is there bells?
I was looking at this earlier, actually. So the last song that we had that really wasn't connected to Christmas at all as Christmas #1 was Rockabye by Clean Bandit, Anne-Marie and Sean Paul in 2016, which is a banger, but it's not a Christmas song by any means. So I think the only one this year that is, you know, potentially in the running, which is not a Christmas song at all, is Opalite by Taylor Swift. So The Sun on Sunday revealed the other day that she has shot a music video in London. She apparently rented out a shopping centre in Croydon to film it, which
do.
I love. And there's lots of talk that Lewis Capaldi's going to have a cameo in it and lots of other people. So that's exciting. You know, if she drops that at the right time in the next few weeks, that has massive prospects of getting really far because, you know, it's already been number 2 in the charts. Like, there's no reason why she couldn't go way further. I guess the bookies' favorite at the moment is Wham's Last Christmas. So, you know, it's been the Christmas #1 for the past 2 years in a row. That's not happened before. And it's already back in the top 10, you know, in November. So that is really the one I think to watch because it feels like it's a no-brainer. You know, something really punchy has got to come along to try and knock that off. There are some other ones, though. I think what's really interesting is Amazon each year now release an original Christmas song. So for the last year, it was Tom Grennan, which was called It Can't Be Christmas. And the year before was Sam Ryder, Your Christmas to Me. And both times they got to number 2. And actually back in 2019, Ellie Goulding did a cover of River, which was another Amazon exclusive. And that got to number 1 the week after Christmas.
Question. Isn't this because you say to your Alexa, play Christmas songs, and then they play that song?
Exactly that. So it's so clever from Amazon. I guess you could say, you know, there's like some sort of, you know, stuff going on.
It's a showbiz fix.
It's a bit of a showbiz fix, but it's very clever. So that's why these artists do it. But yeah, so number 2 for the past few years. And Kylie Minogue has done one this year called Xmas.
Oh, so this is the Amazon track this year?
So this is the Amazon track. So it's already in the top 40.
I'm not against it anymore now. I know it's Kylie.
So it's climbing. I think that's a contender. And then there is a couple of others. There is a song called Lullaby, which is a cover that's been done by Together for Palestine, which has loads of artists, Brian Eno, Dan from Bastille, Nena Cherry and her daughters Mabel and Tyson. Loads of people are involved in that. Leanne from Little Mix, she's done it. So they're all come together. And obviously that's a big charity single, a big cause. So I think people will try and get behind that as well. And then there is a top secret one, which I can't really reveal much about, but you will find out in, I think, the next few hours / day.
Okay, wait. This is a bit like the name game. Are you excited about this one?
I am interested in it. And I think...
Boy or girl?
Boy?
Ooh,
Trick question.
Solo or band?
Solo. I will say this because basically this is a fictional character who's going for Christmas #1.
Is it Peppa Pig?
No.
Is it Mr. Blobby?
No.
He's done
Mr.
it
Blobby's
before.
had his Christmas #1.
I know.
But a fictional character hasn't had a Christmas #1 in 25 years.
Who was the last person? Was it Bob the Builder?
Bob the Builder,
Oh,
which
wow.
I went out and bought when I was 8 years old.
I would argue
I was very excited about that.
Lad Baby had a fictional character vibe to the whole, what was it 6 in a row? 5 in a row?
3 in a row, yeah. Still fab, but yeah. So it was, Lad Baby, I guess you could say. I mean, it's like a persona, right? But this is very much a character that's not human. You know, we'll put it that way.
Oh, intriguing. But what I want to know is, you sound very excited about this, and you mentioned there Mr. Blobby and that sort of the 90s and the noughties. Is there as much excitement about the Christmas #1 race now as there was then? Or is it even more intense now because of streaming? I would actually say that the charts all year round, there is generally less interest because there's less of a focus on what everyone is listening to because there's such a way to have so much sparse music taste now. You know, it's just so easy to stream stuff. You're not only limited to what you can get in Woolworths. So that makes a difference. But I think Christmas #1 still like focuses people's attention, you know. It's still that thing, you know, people tune into the radio to find out what's Christmas #1. And I can remember doing that as a kid. And I do feel like that is the one time of year where people are like actually invested and interested. And I love that because I think the charts are just great. And I love when people get behind an act and really fight for them to be #1, you know.
Is it Bluey?
It's not Bluey. And it's definitely not, by the way, Denise Welch, who has released a Christmas song this week called Sleigh Bells, which is a hyperpop song. I mean, goes to Charlie XCX's wedding and suddenly thinks she can do hyperpop. I mean, it drives me crazy. But it's kind of one of the worst things I've ever heard. Props to her. It's an ad campaign for celebrations. So she's getting money, you know, it's paying for her Christmas gifts. I'm sure Matty Helios have something nice under the tree from that. But somehow I do not think that will be, you know, challenging Wham this year.
The Associate Bizarre editor has spoken, ladies and gents.
Yeah, you'll be eating your words if she does
I'll
top the
be
charts.
eating my words like those celebrations.
Oh, lovely. Right, well, let's go on to bins and binges. Roddy, what are you hating this week?
It is this Taylor Swift doc. I'm sorry, we've all had enough of Swiftie. I'm so sorry. I know particularly this is going to upset you, Flick, but I just think we you know, she's done all the music, she's done a tour. We don't need a documentary. I'm done with her.
Well, saying that, you're entitled to your opinion, of course.
However, it's wrong, Rod.
Well, all I would say is the trailer has dropped,
Yeah.
and it does look like she's actually put some juicy stuff in there. Like, there's quite a lot about her first meeting Travis, and people are so invested in that love story. So I think we are going to get quite a bit from this, not just here I am on my massive tour. So we'll see.
It's still going in the bin. I'm sorry, but I am conversely binging Simon Cowell's documentary because I'm hearing very good things about it from people that have had a little peek, and essentially it really gives you an insight into him. I know I'm showing my age here because obviously he's someone who's been around for like 20, 25 years, but I don't think any show has quite given you a snapshot of who the man is behind the mogul.
So this is the Netflix one where he's creating a new boy band.
That's right. It's called Simon Cowell, The Next Act. It's out on December the 10th on Netflix, and it's half kind of an X Factor search for a boy band, a bit like he did with One Direction. And it's half following him, and you see him with his fiance, you see him with his son Eric and other various people, and you do get a sense of who the man is. And this is a show that I think we've all been waiting for a long time. So I'm very much going to be binging that when it drops.
Exciting. Howley D.
I am binging Stranger Things. I just think Stranger Things is so amazing. As someone who hates gore, can't deal with blood, for some reason I'm obsessed with it. And I'm like watching it through between my fingers, but love it. I watched the first episode at the premiere a few weeks ago and loved it. ABBA's Fernando is in it in a key scene in the opening episode, which is amazing. And I just can't wait to rush home after work this evening and watch the next 3 episodes after that. And, you know, then they're just like teasing us because then the episodes after that, there's 3 more on Boxing Day and then the grand finale on New Year's Day. And I'm just so excited for it. I feel like they've really leaned into the like 80s pop culture references on this series. And yeah, I think it'll be fun.
A true binge.
A true binge.
I love that. Okay, what you been in?
I am binning. This is very specific. Nepo babies who do not make the effort.
Okay.
I just feel like, look, we have had quite a few recently. This past year, we've had quite a few going into music. So one of the Gallagher kids is in a band called Villanelle. Like, you know, props to him. He's like working hard. He's like doing the hard graft. He's putting in the hours. And then we've got Cruz Beckham, who people will scoff at, but he's learnt the guitar. He's put a lot of effort in. He's not really just like piggybacked off his parents. Like it looks like he's actually, you know, doing a lot himself. And you can't fault the guy. He's like singing, he's playing instruments. Like that's fair enough. But last night I went to see Pete Doherty's son's band. Bless him. I'm sure he's a lovely guy. But all he does in this band is play the tambourine. And and already this band have been snapped up as the support act for Baby Shambles. Well, I wonder how they got that slot. His dad's band he's going to be supporting. I'm just like, look, I know it must be hard sometimes to be a Nepo baby and everyone be thinking, you're lazy, you're just living off your parents. But when all you're doing in the band is playing the tambourine and you're getting a support slot, which like I'm sure there's loads of bands who are really incredible musicians who would love to have that, it feels a bit lame for me. And I'm like, just do more, work harder, please.
But babes, Bez did make an entire career out of playing maracas, etc. in bands. So
he did, yeah. But That was Bez. And also, we have scoffed at Bez the entire time.
Oh, I have never scoffed
I
at
know
it.
he's a national treasure. I mean, I feel a bit sorry for Nepo babies because if you're the son or daughter of someone famous and you follow in their footsteps, you're automatically a Nepo baby.
Yeah, but that's their choice.
But it doesn't stop you from having to work. I don't mind if they're putting in the
Yeah.
hard graft and putting in the work when all you're doing is playing a tambourine. If I went on stage and played a tambourine, I'm not going to get a support slot for Baby Shambles, am I?
No, agreed. But if my lifelong ambition was to play the tambourine in a band, no one's going to judge me for playing the tambourine in a band.
Yeah, but you can't do that because most people have to like earn a living.
Well,
that's true.
Not seen this as such a hot topic.
I know.
Debate.
How passionate you got there. I love that.
Hopping. Guys.
I just think there's so many artists out there and so many musicians who, you know, work their asses off and they are so talented and can't get anywhere. And then someone comes along and plays the tambourine and gets the national tour.
Well, I agree with that. But the interesting thing with Nepo babies, I think, is the fact that they've always been around. Look at people like Callum Best. They're so famous because of who their parents were. There's always been people like that around. But now we've coined a phrase, the bar's set really high. But no, I do take your point. I don't think playing this, I think I better just agreed.
Guys, I'm a bit worried about this.
What about you, Flick?
Okay, so I am binning the lack of hard graft being put into Christmas specials this year. It feels like this year, ITV, Channel 4 and BBC have decided the only way to make a Christmas show this year is fling some celebrities at a format. So just to spin you through, The Weakest Link, The Finish Line, Sewing Bee, MasterChef, Gone Fishing, The 1% Club, Catchphrase, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? I could go on. I've got a whole list. All they've done is book some celebrities, and that makes it Christmassy.
And they stick a tree in the background with some presents under it.
Yeah,
That's it, yeah.
I mean, I have no celebrities here, nor a tree in the background, and it's pretty much a Christmas showbiz fix. So
You got your jumper on.
I've got
Exactly.
my jumper on. But I just think do better. People expect more. We want more. Try harder.
Also, we have celebrity formats all year round. It's like, it's not anything special putting them on at Christmas, is it?
No.
And you know, it really does make a difference, doesn't it? When you look back at Gavin and Stacey last year, everyone was, I mean, I was so excited anyway. I mean, I was, as a Welsh man anyway. It was so exciting. And I feel like it's so rare now that you have those moments at Christmas where you actually want to sit down with your whole family and watch
Boring.
something.
We want good shows. We don't just
Yeah.
want Christmassy type shows. We
No.
want actually something that's decent
Yeah.
to watch on Christmas Day and Boxing Day.
I think if you love the 1% Club, you'll put it on. It will feel a bit jazzier because there's some celebs doing it, but nah.
It's not appointment television though, is it?
No.
No. Appointment, however, is Zara Larsson's tour, and this is what I'm binging very specifically because of two reasons. So I don't know whether Hal you will have seen and Roger you won't have seen. Zara Larsson has, so am I right in saying she's been bubbling away for a while, but never really hit?
She's been around for like 10 years and she had the hits early on in her career and then she's found it a bit harder in the last sort of 7 or 8 years.
So she's on this tour and she has this bit where someone from the crowd gets up and does a dance with her. And this one woman called Julia went viral because she was just absolutely slayed it. And because of that, my social media is now filled with Zara Larsson content. And I am a married woman, married to a lovely man, and I am telling you, I would shave my entire body for Zara Larsson because she is so hot. Like these dancing videos. She's got one called Wow. And I specifically keep being sent this clip of her. It's about jaw dropping. Is that?
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, everyone's jaw is dropping. She's got muscles. She's like such a great dancer. She's such a great performer. And I was just like, welcome, Zara Larsson. I feel like next year's her year.
Oh my God. I'm so glad you said this. So I went to see Zara's tour a few weeks ago. She was at Wembley Arena and it was one of my favorite shows I've been to this year. And I go to a lot of pop shows. It was amazing. And the thing is with Zara, she's a lovely person. I've interviewed her lots of times. She's so lovely. And as you say, she's absolutely gorgeous. But the energy, the happiness, the joy radiating from her, the entire room was so in it and having the best time. And the album that she just released a few months ago is amazing. She just got her first Grammy nomination. If anyone hasn't heard this album, go and listen to Hot and Sexy, which samples Tiffany Pollard in Celebrity Big Brother, and go and listen to Euro Summer. They are going to be two of my most streamed songs this year. She is just on fire. And I just love a pop star that you can tell is actually happy and enjoying themselves, because there's too many miserable pop stars around, and she is like living her best life at the moment. And I love it.
I'm still reeling from you saying that you would shave your entire body for Zara Larsson. I'm like, is that a phrase? Is that something people do? Would you do that, Hal?
Yeah,
For Zara, absolutely.
Wow, I feel like I'm the strange one.
I'm going
now.
to send you some clips, Roddy, and then we'll talk about if you're shaving your entire body for Zara Larsson.
Oh my God, we'll be hit on next Christmas. Then.
God, what clips are you going to be sending?
Yeah, I was going to say. Okay, I'll put it out now. I'm not going to shave my body for Zara Larsson, okay?
We'll see. That's your Showbiz Fix for this week. Remember to subscribe to us here on the Sun Showbiz YouTube channel for all the inside TV and celebrity gossip. See you next week.